Glitch there, we thought we were live, but we weren't. I'm Lori and this is Winston, and today we're bringing you something special. We're at Churchill Dog Groomers. We would like to thank the Pause Your Stress group for allowing us to visit virtually, and we would also like to thank St. John Ambulance. Winston has been he's always been a Portuguese water dog. He's been a therapy dog now for 2 years. He's 4 years old. And he loves to visit the Calder Center, the Pause Your Stress at the U of S, the Children's Hospital, Pope John Paul School, and the ER at St. Paul's Hospital. Now, Winnie is sticking to his routine during COVID-19, and that includes coming to Churchill Dog Groomers every Wednesday and visiting Jovi. Now, Jovi is a very good groomer, and she is on Groom Team Canada, thanks to the points that she collects in Canada and the United States by grooming dogs. And Winnie is one of those dogs. She has a couple of her own dogs, and she takes a few other dogs as well. Now, Winston's been to places such as Niagara Falls, Las Vegas, Pasadena, Tacoma, Washington, Toronto, Ottawa, Calgary, and he helps Jovi collect her points. Now, anybody that has any questions, you can text those questions in and we'll try to answer them. But I'll let Jovi tell you a little bit about the Portuguese Water Dog and his grooming.
So with the Portuguese Water Dog, they are quite a high maintenance grooming breed compared to a dog like a Lab, because they don't shed like the Lab does, which is great for in your home, but what that means is that they do require a lot of grooming in order to remain tangle-free and be able to have a longer haircut. We do a lot of Portuguese Water Dogs, but we do, most of them get done in shorter trims than what Winston gets done, because it's just an easier maintenance groom for them to be out and about and not have to come into the grooming salon as frequently. With a trim like Winston's, we actually ask a lot of clients to come in about every 4 to 6 weeks. If you're getting a shorter trim, we usually say about every 10 to 12 weeks instead, because that way they're not getting too tangled in between their groom. Whoop. And we can help maintain keeping them in a good shape for their mom and dad. With Winston, this is called the retriever clip. The retriever clip is shorter trim all over that keeps, he has about an inch of hair on his body and then a little bit longer on his legs. The other trim for the Portuguese Water Dog is called the lion trim. And the purpose of that trim is so that when they are working in the water, all their vital organs are protected by the amount of coat that's on the front of their body, and then their rear end is shaved so that they can use their back legs more in the water and have a lot more power coming from the rear to help propel them. They also have a lion tail, so the base is shaved, and the bottom part, or the end, is left long. And this acts as an extra rudder for them to be able to propel themselves through the water and steer more. So that's why the haircut is the way it is. It does look a little bit silly to some people, but it does actually have a purpose. With Winston, because he does come in every week, I'm able to keep him maintained for his owners so that he doesn't have any tangles at home. They don't have to do any brushing with him at home. We get it all done here for them. And he is a special case because he does get done every week. Winston is a Porty that he's very, very close to my heart. I've grown very attached to him because I do get to see him so often, and because they have let me travel with him to so many different places. So he is such a great dog, and I absolutely love grooming him.
Well, people always make a comment on how his feet or his legs look like tree stumps. But that is simply the way that he's groomed. So what are some of the other things about grooming him, Jovi? So that his head is kept fairly long.
Yes. So the traditional look for them is essentially is a bowling ball with a styrofoam cup. Is how you describe the shape of a Portuguese Water Dog's head. It's shorter on the muzzle so that when they do retrieve birds, in the water or picking up anything in the water as they're working. Their face is clear of hair. This will be trimmed shortly. And then the head is left fuller just to give it some more style and expression. Their ears are left quite short. They have a heart-shaped ear, so when he gets his ear trimmed, it'll eventually look like he has a bit of a heart. The bottom part of the heart will be visible on his ear. He will get his fro trimmed quite a bit. He's got quite a bit of hair going on there, bud. But yeah, that'll come down shortly. I'm going to finish his legs up and then I'll go on to his head. And then the Portuguese Water Dogs are a very powerful breed. So with this trim we keep the body short to show off the strength of the body because they don't need a lot of extra fluff. They are a strong, strong dog. Even though they're a lot smaller than a lot of the other working dogs, they still have a lot of strength behind them. So you want to show that off on them.
So the Portuguese Water Dog, what their job used to be was they would take messages from boat to boat, or they would go pick up fishing lines, things like that in the water. And they do have competitions across Canada. Winnie doesn't participate in any of those. He does obedience things, but not the water dog trials.
So does the grooming affect how they're scored in dog competitions?
Does the grooming
affect how they're scored in dog competitions?
If you're in the confirmation ring, a judge will look at the grooming because you want to be able to show off the dog. So if you brought in a dog that was not groomed, your chances of winning are pretty slim because you want to be able to show off the correct coat. So if you came in with a lot of mats, a judge isn't able to tell that this dog would have a correct coat. So you want to come in with a very well-groomed dog at a dog show. In the obedience ring, it doesn't affect them. Obviously, you want to keep their eyes clear so that they can see when they're retrieving a dumbbell or going over the jumps, but the grooming does not affect them in the obedience ring. The grooming really affects them in a grooming competition because I am literally judged on his haircut. I am judged on that I have executed the groom according to the breed standard. I'm also judged on my technique to make sure that he is scissored very well all over. We are also timed. So when I'm competing with him, I get 2 hours to give him his haircut, which seems like a long time to groom a dog, but that is not a lot of time when you have all of this dog to cover. And then we're also judged on making sure that there's no tangles in the dog. The dog should come into the ring with absolutely no tangles, so you can comb through them with ease. And if a judge finds a tangle, you're automatically disqualified.
If you didn't groom him, would his coat keep growing, and what would he look like?
He looked like a woolly bear. Yes, he would grow. He'd probably grow all the way to the floor if he was never had a haircut. We actually had a Portuguese Water Dog come in that hadn't been groomed in 3 years. It was a very sad case, but he had hair probably 1.5 foot long. It was very uncomfortable for him, but it was a very sad situation, but he's in a much better home now and is taken care of much better now.
And because a Portuguese Water Dog is, well, I guess so they kind of say hypoallergenic, he has hair, right, rather than fur. And he would not, they don't generally shed. He may leave the odd ball around the house, but I think it's mostly because he gets groomed every single week.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't shed like other dogs. They don't drop their hair to the floor. You have to brush and comb it out. So if you don't brush and comb it out, that's where you get those mats in them.
So I guess the beauty, what was attractive to us, and we've had, whoops. Oops, there's another customer coming in. What was attractive to us is we started at Churchill Dog Groomers in 1989 when we got our first dog, and he was a Cocker Spaniel, and he was an absolutely lovely dog named Beasley. And Jovi's mom owned Churchill Dog Groomers then, but he did shed, but I still love Cocker Spaniels. Then we've had 2 Wheatons since, and we still have Horton at home. And they're lovely because they don't shed at all. But this guy is, he's not a terrier, which we like a little bit better than, you know, if he happened, like the Wheaton's a terrier and has terrier traits to him. Whereas this guy is a little more relaxed around the house. They're quite a lovely breed though. We got this fellow in Ottawa, and my daughter has a dog from the same breeder, and they both have very different temperaments. This guy's more, he loves people. The other dog loves dogs. So this guy's the perfect therapy dog. He's always really loved people. And not that he doesn't love dogs. He's very good around dogs, but he just loves people, loves the pets.
When I take him to competitions, he draws a huge crowd every single time. Everybody comes up to meet him because he's so happy and outgoing, and he just wants to say hi to all the new people. So he draws quite the crowd. We don't get to go very many places without being disturbed when Winston's around. Everybody wants to come meet him.
What do you find to be the hardest and or best parts of grooming dogs and animals?
Honestly, the hardest part is saying goodbye. We grow very attached to a lot of our clients, especially like the dog like this, where I see him every week, and then to all of a sudden have them when they pass on. We have a relationship with them. So it's very hard to say goodbye to a lot of the dogs. It's very hard to see some of the dogs that, you know, we can see them starting to get old and they're starting to go blind. It's also very hard when we have a dog come in that isn't being taken care of, like the other Portuguese Water Dog that came in that was very matted. That was very heartbreaking to see that he was in such discomfort for so long and he wasn't being taken care of. And we understand that there's sometimes situations where that happens, but it's still very heartbreaking for us to have to see that. The best part of my job, well, I love dogs, so getting to be around them every day is awesome. Also, I've been doing this I've been here professionally for 20 years, and I've actually formed some amazing relationships with a lot of my clients. Like Lori said, Carrie and her have been coming here since 1989, and so I've known all of their dogs. And so it's really cool to get to know people that way, and also getting to do fun haircuts. We love doing really fun haircuts on the dogs. It's also made me love a lot of different breeds that I never would have met if I wasn't a dog groomer. So that's been a bonus as well. So yeah, it's a very rewarding job, but it's also a very hard job too. It's very physically demanding when you have a dog that doesn't want to cooperate and they're like 150 pounds. So, but we are so used to we've learned a lot about animal behavior being dog groomers, so we can tell when a dog is not happy and kind of change our grooming routine for them to make it more comfortable for them. So that's a cool part of the job too, is we've learned a lot about animal behavior and a lot of health concerns and stuff. I've definitely made an effort to keep myself as educated as I can when it comes to, feeling lumps on dogs and knowing that that lump might be something that's concerning, so we can tell the owners that they may want to go get that checked out. If you may by chance see Carl, we have a cat in here running around. Winston doesn't care about cats. But Carl, if you hear a bell jingling, Carl's around. So yeah, it's a very rewarding job. It's a very, very tough job. It's years of training. We're always learning. Like I said, I've been doing it for 20 years and I'm still learning.
I think one of the other things for us that we've always done with our dogs is bring them in when they're young so that they get used to it. And so our dogs have never had trouble coming to the groomer because they've been here since they were 12 or 14 weeks old. I think we've always brought them in to have a little trim.
And that is very important. When we have people ask us how old can their dog be when they come in, we say the younger the better. We don't have, other than my wolfhound, we don't have dogs running around in here. So it's easy for someone to bring a dog in before their full set of puppy vaccinations. That makes it sure it's still healthy and safe for them. But it's good to just even get them in to get like their nails trimmed or around their eyes trimmed as a first visit so that they get used to this place. And Winston, he's a perfect example. He loves coming here, and it's because he's come ever since he was a puppy, so it's always been a very happy, positive experience for him. So we always recommend that to people, is when you have a young puppy, to bring them in so that they can make this a fun experience and a happy experience versus a stressful one.
Do any of your canine customers ever want to chase Carl the cat?
Yes. We have about maybe 4 dogs total that we have to put Carl away because they would like to eat Carl. So he goes away. And it's the terriers that are the ones that are like that. Something we like to do on our page with our Facebook page with Carl is it's called 2K Tuesday. I don't do it every Tuesday, but we literally take pieces of dog hair and make little wigs for Carl and tell stories about what Carl may have done that week or what kind of adventures he's been on. So Carl gets to do a lot of cool things. There's a lot of fun stories about Carl.
All right, so we would like to thank all of you for joining us, and this is where Winston gets all crazy when his mom comes to visit. If I get here a little bit early and Jovi hasn't quite finished up with him, he will stomp his feet and just get all silly over here. Yes, and I know therapy dogs should not be licking, and Winnie is really, really bad for that. That's enough. So just our message for today is during these COVID-19 times, it's important to keep up your routines. So from Winnie and I and Jovi, thank you for coming on to Pause Your Stress today. We enjoyed our visit with you.